Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to day 9 in my Climbing to 1700 series on Chess.com Rapid. We are coming off of a loss in last episode, so hopefully we look to bounce back today with a good win to try and get back to the 1600 rating range. So today I'll be playing not one, but two 10-minute and 5-second increments, and we immediately get a match against someone from Indonesia. 1576, I'll start off with pawn to e4. Okay, so we get the French defense. I'll just play d4. This is what I always play. I typically take whenever they go d5, but we see c6. I'm guessing this is just some sort of delayed French, so I'll just develop my knight out. Okay, bishop to e7. This is kind of interesting. I'll just, bishop to d3. d6, so, okay, this is no longer a French defense. I don't know exactly what the heck this is. Maybe they were just playing, like, random moves or something, but, yeah, I've no clue. I've never seen this at all. Okay, so, main plan, I would say, is we can look to go up to c4, get the knight out, bishop out, and then I'd say we're doing pretty good. We could also go c3, but I think I'm going to go c4 and take advantage of Black's slow game so far. Okay, so we see bishop to g5, and if we take recaptures with the pawn, because he can't take with the queen because of the knight, he does have a really bad doubled pawn structure, pretty bad, but he does open up the rook, and that could be dangerous. But we still have our knight defending this pawn, and I don't know. I don't think he has enough pieces right now to really, I don't know, I guess maybe get into the game. But the only issue is once we take, he can push. So I'm just going to develop and not deal with that yet. If I want to, I will take, but I'm not going to do that yet. Okay, so he captures. We could take back with the queen, I guess, and maybe look to, like, go queen f4 or something. That could be pretty good. I suppose I will do that, because I don't know if I want to commit my rook to c1 yet. So we see knight to f6. And now, I guess, I don't want to push yet, once again. I don't think pushing in the center is great. I think maybe I'll just go rook to e1. Getting my rook out in the center, and then I can get my queen out, and then I think we're doing really good. We have a really good center control. So we see knight to g4. That's kind of interesting. That immediately gets the knight out, and he's moving the same piece twice in the opening. Typically, that's kind of frowned upon, because that's typically just an opening rule that you shouldn't break, especially when you don't have to. Like here, he totally could have gotten his knight out to like d7 or a bishop out to d7. So I think that just allows us to play a move like queen to f4, hitting the knight. He can't push up because then we can just take, and then he can take back. Well, he does have this discovered attack, I guess, so that could be something. So if we go up to f4, if he pushes, takes, we can take back. He will take, and then we can take with the queen. That comes with check, so yes, that's actually fine. So yeah, I'll just play that. We might see, like, maybe queen to f6. I feel like that's pretty likely. And then at that case, I think we can just trade off. Knight will have to come back and move for not the third time in the opening. And then we can get a rook in, maybe look to push. Heck, we can even play a move like b4 if we want, and just get yet another pawn on the 4th rank in the opening. Okay, now I think he's just giving me a pawn. Because after we take, he can capture back. We can take with the knight. That defends the bishop and attacks the knight. If he takes back, we can take with the queen, and that comes with a check. The king is forced to move, or he'll probably block with the bishop, and then we can drop back our bishop somewhere, and then our bishop is in the clear. So, yeah, I think that's the move. We can go there, and once we take, we're also threatening checkmate, so he's forced to act upon that somehow. If he just moves I don't know. If he does something random, then we can just checkmate him on f7. Okay, now we get the check. And now we're just up a pawn. Straight off the opening, just like that. It's pretty good. We could also just take, like... I don't even think we have to necessarily move the bishop out, because if he takes here, we can just take this with check. So if we take the g-pawn, rook will probably have to slide over to f8, and then I guess we can drop the bishop over to maybe, like, e2, I guess, and look to reroute it this way and gang up on this pawn. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, it slides over. And, I mean, I don't know, actually. I think just rook to d2 is better. Why would we drop back if we don't even have to? I think rook to d2 is just much better. Because now we're threatening to move our bishop, like, to here. And then we'll get a nice x-ray on the queen. Alright, so he moves the queen out to h4. Interesting. I'm not too sure if that's really threatening anything at the moment. We could maybe, I think just dropping back, maybe with our queen, that might be the best bet. Since we're up 2 pawns, just try and trade down. Or we could, if we go like, maybe like bishop to e2. Yeah, I don't really see much there. I'm just going to drop my queen back. Hope for a trade. I don't think he'll do it, of course, since he's down on material. But if not, I mean, our queen is just tremendous here. We're up 2 pawns, and he's going to have to move the queen again, so, I mean, that's not going to be great. If he captures back, I'm going to take with the h-pawn, so I don't have this isolated e-pawn, because if I take back with the f-pawn, sure, that can allow me to maybe work with an open file rook and stuff, but now this e-pawn is pretty weak and isolated, so I like the idea of taking with the h-pawn much, much more in this particular situation. Okay, so we see queen to f6. Now I think we can just push. And this is, I feel like, getting really ugly for black pretty fast. Like, if we push, the queen has to come back unless he wants to go to g5. So yeah, I guess I'll just push. Now the queen is hit again. And we can take more space. Now my knight can come around to e4 and maybe look to come into d6. That's going to be really annoying for black to deal with. I don't think black's really even going to be able to stop that. So he goes back to h8 with the queen. He's, I'd say, pretty obviously looking to come rook to g8. But again, I don't think that's really a threat at all. I think I'm just going to play, like, knight to e4, because now if he tries to go rook to g8, we have this move right here. So, yeah, I'm just going to do that. Just come around. This pawn's still protected, by the way, because of the queen, so no worries there. Alright, I mean, I don't think there's a way where he can stop us from coming into either d6 or f6. So, okay, and now he just gave us a fork. But I just want to say something super quick. This is really just, like, why you need to develop your pieces, like, as quick as you can. And this guy just, he really just moved, like, his pieces a lot in the opening and a little bit recklessly. I mean, just because, I mean, he moved his knight a few times. I mean, now we just get this fork. But we just get, he moved his knight a few times, and then he moved his queen around a few times. Typically, you don't want to get your queen out, like, in the opening. Of course, there's certain cases, like in the Scandinavian defense, but either way, you typically don't want to get your queen out in the opening, and this is just, like, some, like, reasons why that you should be a little bit more careful. Okay, now I'll just take the rook, enough with the yapping. He takes with the queen. I'll capture back, and now we're up 2 pawns and a rook for a knight. So this is absolutely crushing for us. We just still have to find a way to convert it, because the game is definitely not over yet. So I think I'll start with, like, maybe rook to e3, looking to maybe just come in this way. So knight to d7. I don't think rook to g3 check really accomplishes that much. So he's trying to come into c5, I bet. So I'm going to try and stop that with a move like b4. That looks pretty good. Yeah, if we just find a way to convert this, I mean, like I said, this is a pretty crushing position for us. So he's, I guess I can just take. I think otherwise we lose a pawn. Well, we're still actually losing a pawn this way, but it's fine. I guess I will just I guess rook to d2. That seems fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. Just have to make sure that the knight never like forks us. But I mean that'll be a long time away, and we also have this check as well. So he's probably gonna take, and then after takes he can do that. We can always give out a check. But I think I'm gonna go here. Just check here. Yeah, I like that move a good amount. So check, utilizing the semi-open file. And now I think going, bishop to h7 looks kind of good, I guess. Yeah, this is not an easy position, no doubt. We could maybe just go bishop to e4. Look to check. I don't know if that really does much. That's the only problem. All right, we got to move. But I think bishop to e4 maybe. If he takes. Again, I don't know if the check really does much. I might just push to open up the back rank a little bit more. Yeah. I'll let him take the pawn. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to defend that, so I'll just do that, I guess. Okay, so he took. So he's simplifying. That's interesting. So if we go there, I mean, he's going to win this pawn now, too, but that's fine, I guess. Well, actually, now we can go here. Rook to a3. That's a strong move. And now that allows us, once the rook moves, to get this semi-open a-file. All right, now that the knight is off the board, that is a lot of relief. Because you do know how darn tricky knights are. Even though rooks are way better than knights, I'm still not going to be comfortable. I'm still not going to be, 100% comfortable in a position where it's a rook versus knight. Because especially when you're low on time, knights are just so darn tricky. Okay, I'll just pre-move this. There's a good chance he's going to play that. Okay, if he plays like rook to e5, that's a bad move, I would say, because we can check. King has to come here, and then we can... Never mind, he didn't do that. So we could go... We could check once again. Check. King comes to e8. We could go to e3. That looks pretty good. That cuts off the king, but we just don't have a way to get to the king. That's the only issue. So if we check... I'm going to go here, because we can look to pick off these pawns, hopefully. Okay, maybe I can go here, just attacking. The bishop. Okay, that looks strong. Only way he can defend it without moving it is rook to b4 or rook to c5. If he goes rook to b4, that blunders. Okay, so he didn't. Now I like maybe... I'll just push up to a4 and get rid of this weakness. Okay, we have to go. That's why I played h3, so I had that. Okay, I guess I'll just continue to maybe push. Now I'll go here. I'll sacrifice the pawn, but then I get this with the check. And that's pretty strong. I don't think he has a way to defend that unless he goes like b5, which he very well might do. And then, in that case, I would take, but then I can get both of my rooks over here, and that's pretty dangerous. It's also a good thing... Okay, so he checks. It's also a good thing my king's on a dark square because of the light squared bishop. Alright, so... I think I'll just go rook to b8. Yeah. Again, I'm going to try and keep all my pieces off the light square, so no forks and stuff. I'm going to look to come down here. Okay, I guess I'll just push. There's no sacrifice because we can just take here with the rook. We have to be mindful of that. I might come up to like g3. So there's no, like, so this rook can come off here because once again there is a tactic here. If he takes, I can't take back because of the pin. Okay, I guess I'll check here, maybe. Yeah, check. Gotta go quick. Then I think the move is to go up. And then, okay, so he goes there. I'll just check this way. Alright, king to g3. Now this rook is free to move pretty much anywhere. I'm going to go, I think, rook to e3. We should have played that earlier, actually. I think we missed that. But I think he's... Yeah, if we played rook to e3, I think rook to e5 is almost unstoppable, but not quite. Okay, so he plays that move. f5. Ooh, I like f4. Yeah, I like f4 a lot. King comes here, we can check. Yep, check. We can even check this way if we want. No, I don't think that's necessary. Alright, rook to e3. I'm going to try and come in this way, which would lead to a really bad position for him. Ooh, now I can come in this way. Yeah, rook to f8, that's going to be really hard for... that's going to be really dangerous for him. Just have to find a way to... I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not a draw. There's no way this game is a draw. It's definitely not. Because we're just even on material. He has, it's a bishop for a rook. If we go here... Okay, if the king comes up... Okay. All right, rook to 8. 8, again, just keeping my rooks flexible. Now if he pushes, we can go rook to a6 check. And then we would win this pawn. I might come in with a rook this way and look to pin. Pin win angle. Now the rook can come in and attack this way. Oh yeah, this is tough. Check. Check, check. Alright, rook to a4. Now maybe I can try and come over here or something. Yeah, this is a tough, tough, tough position. Okay, we can try and push. He comes there. Then maybe we can come here. Or I'm coming down, because if I went there, he had a bishop check here. Okay, he's threatening that now, once again. Now maybe we can go here, looking to hit this pawn now that the bishop is gone. Okay, now my rooks can get behind the pawn. That's good. Oh, shoot, we blundered that. Oh, no. I guess I have to go, like, here now. Oh, no, this is not good. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't think we should have gotten in this spot. Just unforgiving time, that's for sure. I mean, I'm not going to blame the time completely, of course. This was bad on my end, but at least he's promoting on a dark square. That's very helpful. Oh, I'll just start pushing this pawn. That's what I'll do. Yeah. Alright, I'll just check, I guess. Oh, am I going to have to sack? Alright, I think I have to sack. That was bad. That was so bad. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, this is going to be game, probably. Or, at the worst, it's probably a draw. No, this is game, I think. No, wait, this might be a draw. This might be a draw. It should not have been a draw. I had no business drawing this game. Now maybe I can, like, check. Aw, man. That's tough. That's tough. But anyways, I mean, this game, I mean, dude, we got an advantage early on. So I'm not too bummed. I mean, we definitely should not have lost this game. That is without a doubt. Okay, so I guess queen here now. And he has no checks. So maybe it is a draw now. Maybe it is a draw. The reason why I played rook here was because he had a queen check before. I'm just going to check the living heck out of him. Okay, let's go here. Again, he has no checks with the queen. That's huge. Maybe I can somehow, like, pick up his queen. But it's defended by the rook, so I'm not going to be able to, unfortunately. I could... Okay, he has a check there. I did miss that. I forgot... I keep forgetting that the rook is defending. I guess I'll just go here. Maybe he'll go for a draw. I mean, I'm fine if he goes for a draw. Because I'm the one who's low on time, after all. Okay, if... Or maybe he'll blunder under time pressure. I hope that happens. Now he doesn't have a check anymore. Wait. Oh, no. Yeah, now he doesn't have a check. Yeah. Okay. We might see, like, rook to g1. And then I can check with the queen. Again, I'm just going to maybe just try and check him as much as I can, and maybe I can get a checkmate. Because my king is much safer than his king, I would say. I would say for sure. Because, I mean, I'm threatening more checks. My rook can easily get in. My rook, I would say, is better than his rook, for sure. Okay, he checks. Now I think we just kind of have to go here. Alright, this is a draw, so I'm fine with that. Check, or is it a draw? That's my... Is it a draw? Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I don't... Yeah, this is a draw. I don't see any way I can get my pieces in. So... I guess I'll just give a check here and hope... I don't know. Yeah, I think this is just a draw. Maybe I can get the rook in or something. I don't know. That's just my thought. Maybe now that my rook comes in, maybe... Oh, now my queen can come here. That's... This might be trouble for him. Wait. Wait, hold on. Oh, dude, he's getting checkmated. Wait. Yeah, he's gonna... If he comes down, check. Slides over, check. And now he's gonna get checkmated this way. If he slides over, same result. Wow, dude. Wow. We completely turned a winning game into a draw, and now we just turned it into a win. That is crazy. What a game. Yeah, because if he comes down to d1, check. c1, check. If he comes down, checkmate. If he goes over, check. Over, checkmate. Sorry for my terrible arrows. You probably can't really understand anything with those. But anyway, if he goes there, check. And wherever he goes is a checkmate. Wow. Unbelievable game. The reasoning why I would say that we got this checkmate and he couldn't is because my king is much better than his. Like, my king is safe here. Like, my king cannot be checked at all. Not by the queen. Not by the rook. And his king was just exposed. And my rook was very easily able to get in the game. Check. And now, checkmate. With queen to c2. Very nice, very nice. Wow. But yeah, my king was just safer than his king, and my pieces were more active than his pieces. Like, this pawn actually ended up, like, I would say saving us the game, because it shielded us from all of these attacks, which is kind of crazy to say. But yeah, wow. Okay, I hope he doesn't stall. I mean, he has one legal move. That would be kind of lame if he stalled. There's a good chance he might actually. Because, I mean, he has one legal move, and I'm sure that he's certain of that. But, yeah. I mean, I can just pre-move queen to c2, checkmate. No reason not to. And he resigned. There we go. What a game. Let's hop into the review. And like I said, I'll play another game for fun because it's been a bit since I've played a game for you guys. So now we're at 1596. It's looking pretty good. We put a 79.3 accuracy, so it was a pretty good game. Pretty good game. We ran into the French again. And, I mean, not actually the French, because he ended up playing this weird stuff. I mean, right off the opening, we were up 1.7. So, just because of our killer center, and he was moving pieces multiple times in the opening. So, this was a mistake. If we push up, he drops back. And, I mean, yeah, just look at our activity. We can push. And, I mean, this is just terrible for black. I'm going to assume queen to f6 was the move. No. Oh, wait. That blunder's a knight. How did I not see that? That's really funny. But, yeah, we took. Now we just got up 2 pawns. That move kind of X-ring the queen. That was an inaccuracy, I guess, because I could double the pawns. That's what the game review was saying. Pushing up was an inaccuracy. They went knight to d5. Well, what happens if if he takes, we take back, and now we're winning the bishop? That is nasty because of the pin. That's a wild move. I would probably not have seen that. But yeah, then he gave us a fork. And then I guess letting him get the pawns and some of this was bad, I guess. But yeah, we just did not play this that well. I mean, his bishop was really well placed like the whole game. Yeah. Where did we mess up? Because I'm sure this was a draw somewhere. Right there. Right there is where we messed up. So the move is it like king to g1? Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. What is the move? Do we sack? No, obviously that's nothing. I genuinely do not know what the move to play here is, because it doesn't say for some reason. Maybe king up? No. Do we... Yeah, I'm confused. Obviously, we don't take the pawn. That's just terrible. But no, I'm not sure what the move here is, because, again, I can't see. But yeah, now this is just a draw. I'm curious to see if we ever threw the game away completely. No, this is still a draw, according to the engine. But yeah, that was a blunder, because I guess now we can probably win some sort of material or checkmate him. But yeah, now he has the edge. Interesting. He also had queen to e1 check. I don't know why I thought he didn't. But yeah, now we can just check here, and this is a draw. But the move that where he slipped up, I guess, was king to d3. Yeah, because now we can check here, and this leads to the checkmate. Very nice game. Now I'll just hop into the next game. I'm glad I got that win. That was a crazy game. I'll play one more game. Because, you know, momentum is on our side. We just got a good win. Hopefully we can break that 1600 rating barrier. Yeah, and then this is looking pretty good for us. I'm glad we ended up getting that win. We turned a win into a draw like we normally do, so ended up getting the win, so it worked out perfectly for us. Okay, El Chapin 2019 from Panama, 1453, so he's significantly lower. I'll play e4, e5. I guess I'll go into a scotch. And knight to c6. Yeah, we push up to d4. Hopefully he takes. Okay. Oh, he goes into d6. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not like that's really, like, all that great or anything. So, yeah, I'll just play bishop to e3. Again, once again, just developing moves. The main line is for him to go bishop to e5. That's the main line. But now I'll just play knight to c3, developing while defending the e-pawn. But yeah, the main move is for him to go bishop to c5 and go queen to f6, putting a lot of pressure on this knight. But he didn't go for that, of course, so now I guess I'll just play, like, bishop to f5, applying pressure to a pinned piece. Now I can just castle, I guess. Yeah. You know, just all normal stuff. I mean, we have the slight edge right now because better center space. Our pieces are better, but he takes. We don't want to take here because then we hang this. Well, we actually don't. I take that back. Because if we take, he takes, we can take back like this. So, yeah, we don't hang it. If we take here, he'll probably just take back, and then we can capture back with the queen, and that's looking pretty good. If we take, it comes with check, so I think that's pretty good. We could take with the bishop or take with the queen. I'm not too sure what's better in this position. I feel like taking with the queen is better. I mean, we're just activating another piece. We do run into this, but I don't think that's really much of a problem. It might be a good bait move because then he gets this backwards D pawn that we can attack pretty nicely. Okay, he castles. If we go knight to d5 maybe, getting a nice and active knight. If he captures back, take. We got a good queen. He can push, and then that's, I guess, fine. I mean, f4 looks good as always. I mean, that's always a pretty good move. That's the main idea that you go for in the Scotch, I'd say, most of the time. So, or I can just get this rook in, maybe, to, like, d1. I'll go f4. Like I said, that's the main idea that you're looking for in the Scotch, looking to get a nice pawn break. If we see, like, knight to g4, I don't think that's much of a problem. I think we can just push h3, knight takes, we capture back, and then we're doing pretty good here. We have a nice center control. We can get our rooks in pretty easily, and at worst for us, this would be a draw in this position, but I'd say we have the slight edge for sure. Like I said, just because of our superior center control. Our rooks can get in pretty easily, and black, it's just a little bit more cramped. But, I mean, we may not even see knight to g4. It depends. If so, I mean, we could always push. That might be a little bit premature, though. I don't know if I really want to go for that. So he goes rook to d8, looking to push. So I will just go rook to d1, completely stopping that. Now the push does absolutely nothing, because after takes, yada, 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 we win material. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, didn't he just blunder this pawn? There's no rook to a8 because of the, he moved his knight back. So I think he just gave me a free pawn. I'm going to try and just waste no time with this and just take it immediately. Instead of just yapping even more and just wasting time and end up either losing or drawing a position because I get low on time. Last game was a total exception. I consider myself, I was kind of lucky that I happened to get that draw. Okay, so he pushes. I mean, now we can just take. This is a common, deflection tactic. Not deflection, pin tactic. Because we can just take. He cannot capture back because of the pin against the queen. I do want to make sure that's not putting me in any traps. I don't think it is, so I'm just going to take. Yeah, I don't think he offers anything here. Yeah, he can't take back, or else he wants to lose his queen. And, I would be very happy if that happens, because queen for a rook, obviously winning. I hope he takes it. Of course he won't, though, because he'll see that. But, straight off the bat, we're up 2 pawns. It's a 3v1 on the queen side. We have better center control, and this is just winning. He is cramped, and this is just not good for black right now. Okay. This is why I just love the Scotch so much. It's just such a good opening. It's really great. Okay, so he goes queen to e6, threatening to actually capture our bishop. So if we push, he will probably go maybe queen to e5. Then we can go here and just attacking with another tempo, and that's looking pretty good for us. If we just drop back, which that looks totally valid, I don't see anything wrong with that. We're still attacking this pawn, and we can still play f5, but I might just play f5 now, you know? Yeah. If he goes h5, I can still go here and just, again, attack with another tempo. So that looks pretty good. I just want to make sure that I'm not, like, of course, missing anything. But I don't think I am. So I'll just push. Again, he cannot take, because then now I can take the queen, because I'm creating yet another attack. If he drops back, now I think we can just push, taking advantage of this pin on the queen, and then I think we just end up winning the pawn, because after takes, well, we wouldn't win the pawn, but that would be great for us. If he doesn't go back to d7, now we're just going to end up winning. Now we would just win the pawn. Like, if he goes, like, e6 with the queen, we can go here, and then we end up winning the piece. Okay, so he goes queen to c4. Yeah, now he's just threatening to, just take our knight now. So I think we can... Well, we could actually just take here. If we take here, now we're having another threat on the bishop. Never mind, I take that back, because he's threatening to take here with a check. Because if we go here, he can take here, and we cannot take the bishop because it comes with a check. So never mind on that idea. I think I might just play, like, bishop to d4 looks nice and solid. Or bishop to f2. Again, just keeping things nice and solid. Bishop to e3 looks fine. Bishop to d4 also looks good. But I think I'm going to go bishop to f2 so I can bring my queen to, I guess, maybe like d4. I don't know. That looks like a fine idea. Yeah. If he goes bishop to f6, now maybe we can just go bishop to d4. That looks fine. That looks fine. We're still threatening to capture here also, just letting you know. This pawn's defended, so he goes there. Now I'm just going to go, like, queen to d4, looking to simplify on the board. That's what you want to do when you're winning, remember. If you're up on material, you want to simplify the board, get pretty much as many pieces off the board as possible. That will almost always just make it easier for you to win the game. Now he has to be careful where he drops back his queen. I may be able to win this pawn in some certain cases. Of course, if he goes, like, c6, I won't be able to. If he goes queen to c7, I won't be able to. Okay, so he goes bishop there. I guess I'll just take. And then, yeah, I'll just take. Why not? Trade off the queens. And now, like, I guess bishop to d4 is looking kind of nice. Then, like, if he plays, like, rook to b8, I think we can always just push up and we're doing great. If we go knight to d5, he can capture. If we check, that does absolutely nothing, so I'm not going to do that. I'll just go bishop to d4. Okay. He might just keep the bishop there or go, like, g4 or something like that. Well, I'll do that. Yeah, that's looking pretty good for us. Because, I mean, if he captures, now we just get a really active rook, attacking the c-pawn, attacking the d-pawn, just getting all up in black's business. We can always bring the knight over to b5, hitting this pawn, or even up to d5. I think that just gives me a pawn. I mean, if we take... Yeah, now we're just up a pawn. If we capture and take... If he takes like this... I mean, we could take like this. Then he can capture this. That's the only issue. If we take... He takes... Then we can take this way. And we get a pass pawn. That's pretty good. Then the knight can hop in... Maybe look to fork us. I don't think that's much of a problem. We could even push, too. I mean, that might be pretty good. I don't think I'm going to do that, though, because I do have a free pawn that I can win. I think just knight here looks pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty strong. Knight takes. I mean, the bishop's going to probably have to drop back or something. If not, I'm just going to take and double up his pawns. If I take... we're still threatening. Or again, if I take... He takes with a knight. We can capture back. No, we would capture back with a pawn, excuse me. I just do not... It's interesting. Or if we take... He can capture back with a knight. If we push, and if he goes like knight to g5, now he's threatening a fork and this pawn. But we could always take this way. And then if he captures back, we go there. That might be winning even more, actually. Nah, I'm just going to take with the knight. I mean, taking the bishop might be better just because I'm immediately simplifying, but nah, I'm just going to take with the knight. I feel like it's a little bit more simple that way. Okay, I am down to 3 minutes. I spent a lot of time there for some reason. But now we're threatening to take... Okay, so he goes there, capture back, and now we're just up 3 pawns. We have a monstrous knight. We're threatening to check here, checking the king, and then picking up the rook through a discovered attack. That would be rather excellent. Okay, so he goes there. Okay, I want to take, but I can't. So I'm just going to go, I think, rook to d1. Now we're threatening to take. Yeah. And he has to be careful because we can check and then open up this attack. Because once we check, king has to go over, and then we can take this rook. Rook captures back, then we can take here, and we win a rook. And in that case, it would actually be checkmate because the king is on the back rank. But that would be 2 rooks for us. So he captures back that way. I'll just take back with the rook, keeping it nice and simple once again. I mean, we have a 4-on-3 on the king side. 4 versus 3. And then we have a 3-on-1 on the queen side, including a past a pawn. Okay, so he goes a3. If we go here, he can now go here. And then I guess maybe we can just go like b3 or something. I mean, a3 I think is the only move that wins. He'll probably just go to b8, just trying to be annoying as possible. Now, I mean... Rook to b1. I don't want to give up this pawn because then he can capture and then ruin my pawn structure. Yeah, I'll just go here, looking to push. Yeah. Okay, so he pushes. That's not really a problem. Now this pawn's just going to be incredibly weak. That was a nice tactic, though. I couldn't take because then he can take the rook. That was a good tactic by him. Okay, so I'll just go maybe rook to e1. And, I mean, I'm just going to end up ganging up on this pawn. I'm going to go here, and then d3, and this pawn is not going to be able to be saved. We also have complete control over the open file right now, so that's also incredibly important. Okay, so he goes f6. Now I'll just go, like, rook to e3. And now rook to d3 is inevitable, unless he goes, like, here or something. Then I can just take, he'll capture back, and then I can go here, looking to, I'll still have the open file rook and just simplify the board. Okay, now rook to d3. See what I'm doing here? I'm just bringing my 2 rooks in to attack this ultra weak, overextended, isolated pawn. Just absolutely terrible, a big time weakness for black. I mean, pushing was a nice idea at first because I couldn't take, or else I would have lost the rook. But at the end of the day, it just was not a good trade. It was just not a good option for black. Now I'm up 4 pawns. I have 3 passed pawns in a 4-on-3 on the king side. So he captures back. Rook to d8 won't do, trying to take the open file, because then I can just play rook to d3. Yep. And, I mean, in a position like this, the only sort of counterplay that black would have had is if he could have gotten his rook on the open file and, like, onto the second rank and become a major influence on these pawns. But anyways, he decided to trade down completely, which in a position like this is not that smart, because when you are down on material, especially when it would be like a king and pawn endgame, you just do not want to do that, because you want to keep your pieces as much as possible, because, I mean, when it's just a king versus pawn endgame, this is just pretty much a guaranteed win for me, because, I mean, I'm up 4 pawns. This king is not going to be able to do anything, because now I'm just going to walk my king in. He's just not going to be able to do anything. I mean, I have too many pawns on the chessboard right now. I can just push these pawns up. Pre-move pretty much. I mean, yeah, he just can't do anything here. I'll pre-move this. Never mind. Okay, check. Now I'll push this guy up. I mean, yeah, these pawns are all just going to rumble down the board. But yeah, like I was saying, when you're down on material, you do not want to try and simplify the board. You want to try and keep as many pieces as you can for attacking possibilities. Now, neither of his pawns can move. If he tries to move this pawn, I'll just take it. And his king's going to have to be forced back, and now these pawns are just going to rumble up the board. Also, if you're up on pawns, you want to make sure that you take away the ability of your opponent's other pieces' pawns to move, because now, again, neither of his pawns can move. These pawns are completely blocked off. This pawn cannot move, because if he goes to g6, I can take, and now he's running up. If he goes g5, I have en passant, and same story. So, yeah, I mean, that's also another rule of thumb, too. Just make sure you always take away your opponent's moves. I can now just play d6, a5, pre-move, pretty much. Check. I'll come up. Yeah, this is push. And now it's actually checkmate in 1, because wherever, well, black could slide over, I guess, and then we'd check with the queen, and then the king would run, excuse me, and we can check here, king would come up, and it would just be checkmate in a couple moves. So just a game over, dead loss position for black. We got 2 wins, and now look at that. We are above the 1600 rating barrier. Finally, we broke back up. I was over 1600 before, but I had a bad tournament, so that's why I fell below, if you didn't know. Now we're back at 1600, 98 more ELO to go until our goal of 1700 ELO. So let's hop into the game review. I played with 89.7% accuracy. Opponent played with 81.5%. I had 1 inaccuracy and 1 miss. Everything else was pretty good. No blunders, no mistakes. Okay, all textbook play. Anyway, super quick. If he were to play bishop to c5, and then... Oh, I mastered his skill. Nice. And then... Okay, I get it. And then... Queen to f6. This is the mainline classical. I've explored the Blumenfeld attack, which comes after knight to b5. And though this gives black a 0.7% advantage, this is just such a tricky variation, and white wins like 61% of games here, and it's just so good. So I've been looking into that. Unfortunately, he didn't go for it, and he went for this d6 sort of passive but super solid line. Castled. Not too much analysis here. This is all pretty much basic Scotch theory and just stuff like that. I mean the Scotch opening is not really much theory at all, but of the little theory it has, this is pretty much what it looks like. So yeah, we captured the pawn. That was the best move. And then, yeah, c5 was a crushing move for me. crushing move for him because we can take advantage of this pin. This is why you really need to look at your pins in your games, because a lot of times you have tactics like this, but you just completely overlook it. So that is why pins are super important to explore. F5 was our inaccuracy. Maybe because, like, again, like, C4 does kind of put the queen in a decent spot, but... Oh, wow, I completely missed a hanging bishop. Look at that, guys. Tremendous play for me. But it's still fine. I guess that was my only miss. But it's still fine because, once again, we're still completely winning. But that is just bad board vision on my end. He pushed. He went there. I pushed up. If I would have went like B4, that actually would have been better. He doesn't have en passant. For some reason, I thought he did, so never mind. But B3, just as good. Get the rooks in, attack this pawn, apply a lot of pressure. Once I got this pawn, I had 3 passed pawns, and that is just super lethal. I mean, 1 passed pawn is enough to win you the game. 3 is enough to easily win you the game without, like, any effort. And then A7, queen to A8 is inevitable and unstoppable. And then checkmate would follow very soon in the game. 2 great games, got wins, bounced back pretty strongly. Stay tuned for more chestnut videos too. I'll film my 15-10 chess games on the chestnut because I don't like playing 10-minute games only on the chestnut. It just doesn't feel very good. I prefer to play longer time controls, especially to get that more classical feel. Anyways, I'll just kind of rotate between online and the chestnut, and overall, I thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, please. It would really help out, and I will see you all next time.